thought I'd do a quick video out in the driveway, and I've got a sieve. Why, do you ask? Well, when I was over in New Zealand, they did a lot of this flocking and stuff like that, and getting it from the States, it's rather expensive. So I thought I'd Google a few options, and one of the options was sawdust. So I've gone to the local sawmill and tried to scab up and ravish some actual fines from the wood chips and stuff like that. So I'll grab the camera, I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's my bag there. All that is all the fines that's just come through. So a bit coarse at the minute, so what we've got to actually do is, while I'm just using my phone, apologies, is we have to get the coarse down to a really thin powder. So a couple of cans with Jim Beam added, and we are sieving. And we are sieving down to this. Which is pretty boring for you guys to watch a sieve and it turn into a fine dust, but the end result's going to be a lot better. So I'm going to keep going. I'll get that whole bag done, so we've got a lot of flocking, because I've got 24 full body mountain duck decoys I want to get done. And the reason why I'm doing it is because the painted ones, and as you know, during duck season you get a little bit of sunshine, or they get wet, or things like that, they just have a little bit of a shine to them, even though you're using matte finish and matte paint on all your decoys. But this, having the flocking on it and this texture, just takes away all the shine. It is absolutely unbelievable. So I want to do it. It's going to be a massive trial. It takes a bit of work, but well worth it in the end. So we'll see how we go. We'll keep going. Won't show you the boring part. I'll show you step by step, so you can just get the gist of what's happening. And if you do want to do it, hit me up, send a message, hit the like button, subscribe, ask the questions on how I did this, why I done that, and we'll get the end result that we're after without costing you an absolute fortune. The next step was come home from work, grabbed two of these, which is the Rit Black, basically closed dye. So I've managed to separate the tubs, because I don't know how it'll go, but we'll see. And then I'm just going to water it down until I get the right paste and consistency, and then we're going to spread it out in a big board, and then next step will be just to let it dry. So weekend's coming up again, it's going to be stinking hot weather, so it'll be a good chance to dry out, and then that'll be the next step. Righto, I'll give you a look at this paste. So that is it there. I've done it a little bit wet, so the dye will really soak into these wood chip fines, and I've really just mixed it through. So it's only taken 5 minutes, but really just mixed it through to make sure everything's coated. And I know it's going to dry great, like the last little trial I did, but if we can get as much darkness into these fines, it will be a lot better as an end result. So, and the reason being is it's just going to make the paint colour different. The reason being it's just going to make the paint colour different. So if I was to just leave the sawdust as it is and then sprinkle it on the decoy, when I paint yellow, of course that's going to go like a really white colour. So you really got to watch the colours. The darker you can get this flocking sort of stuff, the better off it's going to be, in my view anyway. So black will really stay black. We're going to have to give that light mist. And then when we go to our yellows and stuff like that, you'll have the deep dark background, so that should hold its colour. Whereas, as I said, you want a cream finish, and you just leave the sawdust as it is, you're going to have to recoat 2 or 3 times, or it's going to go a different colour to what you want. So yeah, black or grey background, I reckon is going to be the go. So that's what I did on the trial, that's what's come up. So righto, enough chatter, let's get into it. Well, it's the next morning and I've got it on a nice board drying out in the sun. Hopefully it doesn't get too windy and blow away. She's starting to dry out there, which is good. See how she goes. That's another batch I just did. Let that dry out in the sun. That one's wet underneath, but it'll dry out. Hopefully it doesn't get too windy, as I said. But we'll keep coming to check on it. Well, it's been sitting out in the sun for a few hours now and it is dried out. So the wind just started to pick up, so I've quickly grabbed it all in and I'll give you guys a look now. I'll just switch this around. There we go there. So that's what we're looking at. There we go, it's hard to see, but that will just go over the top of the decoy. And we're trying to achieve something like this. So as you can see, that is just faded out. No shiny paint. Very interesting texture. That's only one coat of that sawdust dye flocking, as you can see, but that is a hell of a lot cheaper than getting it from the States. And all it's done was cost me a little bit of dye so far. As I said, I've got that sawdust for free, so that is sensational. They are dull, they are flat. That's just had a coat of the matte chalkboard paint and it is coming up a treat. I'll do another trial and I'll do 2 coats, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, what we're going to do is sift this again, put it through the sifter just to make sure all those large little bits are gone, and we'll get down to our final touches, and that's what we'll be able to use for our decoys. So don't ask me why, but we put it through the sifter to start with, and I've just done the first sift and you end up with this. See that? So they aren't going through the sifter now. So I only want the really light stuff, so that'll just get thrown out. Gone, and we'll go again. Don't know why it does it. Don't know why it does it, but well, I'm after the finer stuff, but we'll lose a little bit in the process. Who cares? As you can see, that's getting rid of a lot more stuff and it's becoming even finer. Bit of work, but we'll get there. It's hard to hold the camera and sift at the same time, but that is a hell of a lot finer. Anyway, that's enough of that. There we go, it's dried up and sieved. Can only try. It's a little bit bigger. The dust wasn't really dust, it's more or less the woodchip fines. So it hasn't gone black, but it's gone grey. But yeah, could be interesting. So I will cut the video short. We'll just cut that process, and next time I am on camera, it will be with the finished product, and we'll paint some and get it going and give you guys a look at a cheaper option. Well, just got home from work. We are on the next stage. I've just been drying out that sawdust with the dye in it, which is good. Have a look at this. One tip for the beginners, and if you want to try it, wear gloves, because I just started, I was all excited and I ripped into it and I forgot to wear gloves. So what an absolute dickhead. But have a look at these. Turn it around. There we go. That's in full sun and they still look faded. Just using my phone today, so sorry you can see the shadow. There you go. Here's what they used to look like, which is all good and well. That's what I used to run with, which is absolutely fine. Look at the difference. Let's bring that one over there. There's a massive difference, I reckon. Once we get some detail into that flocking, that'll work out well. And of course, you wet these bad boys and they just gloss. Everything here, that's matte black chalkboard paint in that, and the head and all that sort of stuff, but doesn't matter what you do, you get wet and they start to shine. Whereas these bad boys, look how dark that is. Bloody sensational. So that's two. Got a whippet there. Hey, out. Hey, come on, hop out, come on. And the black lab. The big tub, so as I said, I've already sort of done those two when I got me flocking there, but can of paint. This is our next big bad boy here. So we'll do him and I'll give you a bit of a look at what we're doing. So I don't know whether you can see this, hopefully you can see this alright. I've got a smaller paintbrush, so I want to actually just run this paint around the eyes and around the beak, because we don't want that flocking to go straight in there. So it's basically as if you're painting around the eyes, and you want to actually keep it nice and thick so it's going to stick. So what I'll do is I'll fast forward this video. Don't know whether you can see that. See, I've started. Ran out of paint, but yeah. But we want to lay it like that right around, and then right up to that beak and go around the beak. So I'll fast forward the video, but we'll do that one. There you go. As you can see there, I've worked all around the head, got that nice and neat, so when that flocking sticks, it's not going to go over the beak. And it's just keep working the paint down, that's it. Don't go too thin because you want it to stick. So just keep running it down. Make sure you get underneath the feather bits in your detail. So push the paint underneath because you really want the detail when you're left with that end product. So I'll just keep working the paint down like this. As I said, wear gloves, because I tell you what, it's just like a black oil slick and you will get it everywhere. So yeah, that's alright. Fast, I'll just keep it moving. That way we're not boring you too much, and we'll go from there. Hang on a minute. So that is your big black oily slick. Imagine putting that in the field. So, as I said, see, I'm holding under there. Should have wore gloves, but anyway. Once you get to that stage and you've covered it in paint, grab your brush and really just make sure you've gone into that feather detail. One last bit. Give it all a mix up. So we'll do that. Make sure all that has gone in that feather detail. We don't want to miss any. And that is it right there. So now we're ready to start flocking straight over the top. So it's going to be pretty hard to show you at the same time, but anyway, all it is a matter of putting it down in the tub, grabbing your sieve, and I'm going backwards this way first, if that makes sense. So I'm going that way first, so if that makes sense. So basically all the flocking will fall straight down into the feather detail, instead of it having the other way, and then it's going to fall down that way over the top. Whereas we wanted to get it in underneath all that feather detail. So I'll keep going. Give it a bit of a shake off every now and again. Pretty hard to hold it. Hold the. I'm only using the phone, so which is my bad. I should have set up the camera. Give it a shake off. Try and hold it by the beak. It's getting his back, it's not quite getting his back. Keep shaking it as you're doing it. Gets rid of all that loose stuff, but then it makes room for anything that you've sort of missed. Looks pretty good. There we go. I'll hold that up a little bit better so you can see now. So I'll just get that little front bit on the brush. You can see it's a bit thin there. So I'll just get that bit, and I reckon that big male is done. There we go. Might be hard to see in that light, but there's a little bit missing there actually. Well, there we go. There's that big male I just did. Ready for airbrushing. Not sure whether I'll do another coat yet. I might just do a trial on one to see whether I'll do another coat. But they're starting to look pretty bloody good now. So I'll just cut the video short, that way you don't have to watch some boring paint jobs and some flocking. But that's basically it. Paint it, flock it, put it out in the sun, let it really dry. Haven't decided whether I'm going to give it another coat yet, but I won't bore you with the details. I'll swing to the end product and we'll go from there. Righto.
You're going to smash into you. Look at that. Look at that.
Well, just me back again. Couple of days later, I've decided to actually give them another flock. And we're just going over them again. So, just a little bit thin. There were a little bit of areas just in that sort of lower breasty wing stuff that just sort of didn't stick. Whether it was too windy and it's sort of blown it off, I'm not sure, but we're just going through it again. And I'm on number 6 now. So I'll give you guys a look outside. Not that you're looking at anything different from the previous little clip, but this is the second coat on. And then we'll give them a bit of a touch up with the black chalkboard paint. And then off to the airbrush. And the best thing about the second coat I put gloves on, which made it a hell of a lot easier. Can take these off, I've got clean hands, so definitely bloody wear gloves, because it makes all the difference when you take these bad boys off. No paint, no shit all over your hands, you're scrubbing for ages. Hopefully they come up alright, drying off in the wind. And we've got old mate down here. Look at the comparison. Oh, that looks sensational, that one. Can't wait to airbrush it. That is going to come up a treat. So there we go. Now we just have to wait for them to dry. Probably talking too much. That's probably pretty boring for you guys, but yeah. They're out in the wind behind me. Go clean up. Might have a bit of a beverage, and let's come back, spray paint them. Well, I was going to grab the airbrush out, and then speaking to a mate, he turned around and said, I know a bloke that does really, really good work with the airbrush. So I thought, bugger it. Does he want to give these decoys a crack? And he has. So I'll switch it around and you guys can decide how they look and let me know, because I reckon they've come up bloody sensational. And he's done the males as well. Airbrushed mountain duck. So there we go, done and dusted, airbrushed. I'll do the rest of them. I've got another dozen to do, probably more in my array of decoys, but a cheaper alternative, a bit of sawdust, some dye and an airbrush, bloody sensational. They've come up, they're dull, not reflective. I'm going to get them in the field, so tomorrow morning I've got a new beginner coming with me. We're going to hunt over these decoys as well as my old painted decoys, and I'll give you a look. So give me 2 secs. Next thing you know, we'll be out in the field.
Hello? Hello?
Getting chased by crows. Oh. Well, here we are out in the field, or the paddock, whatever you want to call it, depends where you come from. I'll switch your camera around and I'll show you the painted ones that I used to have, and then I'll go across to these new flock ones with the airbrush. So here we have some painted ones, which are mine from previous years and what I've been using. And then I'll come back out. Now we're going to be looking at some nice airbrush. There's that big male. There's some feeders. I'll go past the male for you. Try and give you a bit of a look there. Not sure what it's like on the light, but they just don't have that painted look. See, there's a little bit of sun on it, which could be slightly reflective. You come around there and bloody sensational. We'll go across to some feeders. Female feeder. And there's the other two bad boys over there. So absolutely ripping job. Very, very happy with how they turned out. Now it's just a massive challenge to get the rest done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe so I know you like it, or leave a comment, or ask the questions of the process or how I done it. If you've got any questions along the way, shoot them through. Happy to help, happy to answer them. Till then, see you later.